It's me, Dr. Larry. I'm your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, your favorite father, your favorite brother, your favorite nephew, your best friend's best friend, Dr. Larry. And welcome to Living for You, the YouTube channel. Those of you who are familiar with me, you come here every week. I appreciate and I love you, your family. Thank you for that. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the shares and the follows and the likes to everything I post. I appreciate you, I love you, I see you, and I honor you. Those of you who are new, welcome, 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 and welcome again. This is the Living for You YouTube channel, as you see at the top. I am Dr. Larry Smith. I am a certified life and spiritual coach, amongst other certifications, some of which I'm even working on now. I'm also a historian and an educator. I'm also a theologian. I wear many, 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 many hats, but all of them are centered in trying to help people like yourself, as well as myself, live the best life that we can. Not tomorrow, not thinking about yesterday, but today. And so if you want to know more about me, you can actually go to www.liveforyoucoaching.com, because that's my business. I'm a certified life coach, so you can go there and get some coaching. You can pay for some coaching as a gift card for a friend or a family member. Find out all about me, my bio, my educational history. You can Google that stuff, but why Google it when you can go directly to www.liveforyoucoaching.com and find out more about me. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Larry Smith on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter and on Pinterest and on other places. So Dr. Larry Smith, you can follow me. But make sure you subscribe to this channel, because this channel's growing. It's changing. I know some of my regular people who come, my family, you've noticed that things are changing. I'm looking forward to creating new things for the channel, growing and bringing on things and bringing on people probably, and growing into a massive, massive place in the world. Because we need more places like this. We have all kinds of forms of entertainment, but there are very few places in which we can go and we can just relax and chill and have an intimate discussion that is going to be beneficial for us and for our growth and for our development. And this is that place for that. That is what we're about at Live For You Holdings, the company that I own. We're all about bettering the total person. So why not share, like, follow, subscribe to this channel so you can get more of that, because there is surely more of that and so much more to come. So anyway, I wanted to get on here because, as you guys know, this is Black History Month. If you follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, you know that every day I post. I've been actually this year for Black History Month, I decided to post historians, right? Some of my favorite African American historians of many different genres, many different fields of Black history, but also history in general. And so you've been getting a chance to see some of the great minds, male, female, men and women, who have influenced my historical reasonings. And not just my historical reasonings, but also influenced me to go into history and to teach history and influence some of the history that I teach. And so I've been doing that through Instagram, through my Instagram account and through Facebook, just kind of putting that information out there. So hopefully those of you who are following that, hopefully you are able to go out and search those historians yourself and read some of their works. And the reason why I'm bringing that up and I'm bringing Black History Month is Black History Month started as Black History Week with Carter G. Woodson, who's considered the father of Black history, the father of African American history. And he started what was called Negro Week. And Negro Week grew into Black History Month, eventually becoming a nationally recognized time, a month. And but it is a very important to me that people acknowledge their history and learn their history. I was so fortunate to grow up in a household to which Black history was important, where it was important for us to know who we are, who were our ancestors, where we've come from. As much as my parents can give, my parents weren't educated scholars. My parents weren't people who were historians. They gave us the histories that were passed down from generation to generation, because in my family, not just immediate, but my entire lineage, family, it was important to continue to pass down those traditions and those stories and that knowledge about who we were. And I feel as a whole-centered person that it is super important for you to be aware of, to acknowledge, accept, and embrace your story, your history. What roots on the tree brought you, the branch, to being, right? Just as you will hope that future generations will remember you as a root grounded on the branch that they'll be. And that's how it goes, and it continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. I think a lot of times many people are not aware of their own history, and they lack a major piece of their foundational reality. There are a lot of people walking around here with no sense of foundational reality, and so therefore they don't feel connected to the greater being and the greater essence of all that is. Some call it God, some call it spirit, some call it truth, some call it whatever. But at the end of the day, if you don't know your place in the pantheon of that, then there is no way for you to be grounded as a person. And so I find it very important, not just on Black History Month, but all year, all 365 days of the year, that all people, but in particularly Black people, we learn and we know and we ground ourselves in who we are. It is so important. I can remember being a kid at school, and for those of you who, like I said, follow me on Instagram, you note that I put a quote of myself out there on Instagram to where I feel like schools. I've been an educator for many, many years. 18 plus years I have been an educator. And the one thing that I can say for certain, that is a fact, is that Black and brown students are not given the tools to equip them to be productive people in life, to be life people, living people, because they're not given their stories. They're not given their influence. If you grow up, for example, here in the United States, you learn about the founders, you learn about the first presidents, you learn about manifest destiny, you learn about capitalism, you learn about the political systems, you learn about the movements like the abolitionist movement maybe, you learn about the women's movement and all these different things, different political parties and whatnot, but you don't intimately learn about yourself, your people, what people like you did. People like you weren't just sidekicks to the history of Europeans. And that goes in a grander scale, not just in the United States. People of color weren't just sidekicks to world history. We were not endnotes or cliff notes or sticky notes to the pantheon that is world history. We did great things. Even before there was a European Renaissance, there was a Renaissance in the Black and brown world. Right? Things growing and being invented that the Europeans used to further themselves in what they had, what they called their enlightenment. There was never a dark age for people of color. Let that resonate. There was never a dark age for people of color. We've been consistently creating and thriving and building and inventing for millions of years. However, when you're in certain environments and in certain parts of the world, especially in the West, all of that is wiped away for the escalation or the elevation of European descended people. And there's nothing to say that's wrong again about that. What I want to say is it's important for, even if you're of a Celtic origin or if you're of a Roman origin or of an Italian origin or of a Jewish origin or of a Slavic origin, of any different ethnic origin that you want to claim, it is important for you to know your story and your culture and your customs. So I'm just saying that it is just as important for people of color to learn their origins just as it is of European people to know and to appreciate and to value and to understand our origins. Because like I said before, it grounds you. It connects you to the foundations of who you are. when you start to realize about the different African empires, like Mali, and Songhai, and Ghana, and Zimbabwe, and the Bantu people, who influence a lot of African culture that is directly related to those of us who are descendants of West Africans who were brought here across the transatlantic slave trade. When you start to study the origins of our foods, the origins of our religious beliefs and rooted in African spirituality, when you start to study the origins of our language and our family connections and how we view family and socio connections, socio history, it starts to ground you and root you in who you are. One of the things that I've been diving more into as of lately, but I had already started to study this in grad school and post-grad school, was African spirituality. I've always had it around. I mean, I grew up in southern Louisiana, so there's a heightened sense of African spirituality, obviously, in southern Louisiana. One of the most heightened senses of African spirituality in this country is in southern Louisiana. And so I've always had it around, but I never dived into it because I was so deeply rooted and deeply connected on a social level, historical level, to the Christian faith, as many black people are. But when I started to dive into my African spirituality, there was a sense of openness and acceptance and security and a feeling of home, like this is where I reside. This is where I came from. This is where I reside. And you feel that when you start diving into the roots of the origins and the histories and the heritages behind that tradition. For me, it might not be the same for you, but for me, that's what it is. And so I've always found, well, I would say what brought me into studying history was studying myself and studying people like me and extensions of people like me. And that brought me into a fascination of wanting to know more about myself, wanting to know more about people who look like me, people who think like me, who've had similar experiences on a historical level like me. So it grounded me. And so I think it is beyond super important for us to get that it is important for us to know who we are and to ground ourselves in trying to figure that out. Because if you don't know who you are, and you've heard this before, this has been said many, 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 many times. If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. That is how we learn where we're going, when we learn where we came from, and we appreciate and accept it and love and honor it. You will learn that sometimes those who had the control over dissemination of your history made it ugly on purpose, made it ugly for whatever reason that suits their elevation. You will learn that the great things that people who look like you have accomplished was diminished for many reasons. Nevertheless, you will learn that people who look like you have accomplished many, 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 many things for millions of years. And so it's important that you dive deeply into your heritage, into who you are. Being an educator for so many years, I come across many people. I do. Of different backgrounds, ages, ethnicities, races, genders, lives, choices, situations, economics, you name it, different people. But one of the things that is so disheartening to me, that breaks my heart, is when I see someone who looks like me, when I see somebody who shares DNA makeup, genetic makeup with me, say, I don't know who I am, and I'm in your class because I want to learn more about me. And I find it as an honor that I have the ability to influence someone to learn more about themselves. But my goal as an educator and as a spiritual person and as a spiritualist and a life coach, a person who values inner strength and inner growth, my mission, my goal is that people come fully present and well aware in who they are and where they came from and their lineage and their role and their place in society and in the world and in the universe and in the cosmos and in the planetary alignment. Their place is cemented and they're fully present and aware of what that place is, living out the full meaning of their potential. So I just wanted to get on here for Black History Month and remind you of who you are, remind you to go out and discover more about who you are. Get this knowledge up here. One thing that can't be taken is what's put up here. That's yours. And it's free. The most you can do for yourself is get that free knowledge about yourself and learn accurate, credible, reliable history about you. And engage it and love it and embrace it and honor it. I honor you. I dedicate my life to studying you and to studying me and to studying this world and us and trying to get to know this. This is what I do. I am a person who is all about self-improvement and continuing that journey. I would never get to the place to where I can't improve anymore or I can't learn more about me and you or about us and about the world. So keep learning. Figure out your heritage. Learn your history. Don't let Black History Month be 28 days, 29 days on a leap year in which you learn about you. Make it your ambition that part of what you do on a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis, is you learn something about your history. Learn something about your heritage. And then when you've learned a lot, because like I said, you're not going to learn it all. When you learn a lot, then start to teach the next generation so that no one else can come to me as an instructor and say, I don't know much about myself and I want to learn. I love you all. I love you with the love of God. I love you with the love of the universe. Thank you for coming. Remember to follow me on social media and subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you engaged and you loved what you just felt. Because I know you felt something. I felt this. I know you felt something. So follow me on social media, like, comment, share the videos, get your friends talking about it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next